10 ways that you can get more sales. Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I'm super stoked that you're here watching this video. I hope you're doing well. It's a crazy world out there. Things are constantly changing, but it looks like we're on the upward curve towards normality. So fingers crossed on that front. But today we're talking about how you can get more sales. So if you enjoy this video, you get anything out of it, please hit the thumbs up button, because that's what helps the channel. It's a free way to just help us out, and help the YouTube algorithm and do all that really cool stuff. Okay, and while you're there, why not jump down to the comments section and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm always so excited to know where you might be watching from, what country, city, wherever it may be. Jump down to the comments section, say hello, tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from. That would be really super cool. So, as I say, we are talking about 10 ways to get more sales. So whether that is selling your products, whether that is affiliate marketing, doesn't really matter. There's a core framework that people just completely overlook. They just assume that they're going to want to make money. They're going to press the button and then magically, ding, 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 it's going to happen. But essentially, there's a framework. And for the purposes of the YouTube title description video, I'm going to say there's about 10 ideas, 10 strategies and factors within this framework that are really, really important. So let's get cracking going through these items. Okay, so the first thing is all about the visibility of what you have to offer. Okay, the visibility of what you have to offer, because essentially if you've got something and no one sees it, you haven't got anything. That's the truth. Okay, so there's this phrase that is called search engine optimization. Okay, and it's a phrase that is used to cover a load of boring things that essentially will help your content be seen by more people through search engines, through YouTube, and this is how we get long-lasting, sustainable, free traffic. Okay, long-lasting, sustainable, free traffic. Okay, and search engine optimization is part of the way that this actually happens. Okay, so whether you want to put something on YouTube, whether you want to put something on Google, you need to think about how people are going to find this, how people are going to find your content. Okay, because regardless of what the actual content is, so because you could have a terrible article, terrible video, terrible whatever it might be, but if you get a lot of things right, people will find it. Okay. And I'm sure you're aware of this, because I'm sure that you've gone on YouTube or Google and you've searched for something. You've searched for something and you found a website and it's been of no help whatsoever. Okay, and it's just that is what you found. Okay, in relationship to the requirements that you put into the internet. Okay, so as I say, there's hundreds of videos that will show you exactly how to maximize this, but you want to be thinking about the keywords. You want to be thinking about the end result. Okay, you don't want to be thinking about necessarily the content. You want to be thinking about the end result. What do people want? What is the problem that people want to solve, and how are they going to search for that? Okay, and maximizing Google, maximizing YouTube. That's how you're gonna be found. Okay, so it's really important to consider search engine optimization. The next thing that we're going to be talking about here is quality traffic. Okay, and we're talking about paid traffic. This comes in two factors, but there are bad traffic. So you can go to certain websites and buy certain traffic, and that is bad. Okay, if it doesn't have any specific relevance. Okay, whereas if you buy Google traffic, for example, you have so many factors that you can put into the traffic that you're actually buying. Okay, so it can be certain websites, it can be certain videos on YouTube, it can be certain keywords, it can be certain locations. You know, it can be all of these different factors, okay, that you can send eyeballs on. Because as I just said in the first thing about search engine optimization, people are searching for certain specific things. And that's how it works on Google and YouTube. And if they're searching for certain specific things, if you go onto Google and you search for something right now, search for some product or whatever, 9 times out of 10, you'll find that product. But then above that, you will find adverts. And sometimes it'll be adverts from the actual people. So the people that have the product will be advertising it because they want to ensure that they are grabbing the traffic at the top, the first instance on Google, they're getting it. Because what people can do is they can advertise a similar product. Okay, they can advertise a similar product in front. Okay, so just say for example, so I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone, for example, right? Now you could type in Google Blue Yeti microphone, but then there might be another microphone, a Shure microphone, or whatever it might be that people want to promote, and they will advertise that above. And then you'll sit and you go, oh, and it could be, you could have all kinds of descriptions saying this is so much better than the Blue Yeti. And people will click on that. Okay. So you want to be utilizing these strategies. Okay. And then this bleeds into things like, you know, using YouTube and choosing a specific video. So there might be a video that blows up and it's getting so much traffic, or it might be a video that is promoting a specific product. But then you can run your ad for the same product on that video. Okay. And, you know, people find that video, they click on it and they see the advert before, and you've kind of hijacked that traffic. Okay. Then that bleeds into things like social media. Again, social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, you know, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever it might be, they've got so much data. They've got so much data on you because of things that you've clicked on. Not just things that you've typed in, like your age, your location, those sorts of things, but things that you've clicked like, you've commented on, pages you follow. They've got all this information about you. So that if, as an advertiser, you can go onto these platforms and you can cherry pick people and deliver information that's specific. So that increases your likelihood of getting sales, okay? So the next factor is raising the conversion of what you have to offer. So this is a lot more complex, okay? This is a lot more complex because we're talking about, you know, essentially the quality of your content once people have got there. So we've spoken about that traffic and the ways that you navigate through that. Okay, but then once people get to the content's terrible, like I just spoke about that first example. When you type in Google for something, you find a page and the page is just useless. You just cross it off, you click back, whatever it may be. So you need to make sure that your pages, whether it's the video, whether it is the website that people have found and clicked on, does a really good job of converting, you know. And obviously there's different ways of doing this. There's the design, the content, the calls to action, the images, you know, making sure that the page is not annoying. You know, so many websites you go and they are just so annoying, you're like, I can't deal with this right now. You know, I'd say the worst websites in the world are like local news, regional news websites. I mean, specifically in the UK, you click on a regional news website. I don't know how anyone really gets past click on it the first time, because they have so much nonsense that the page freezes up. You can't click on things. Pop-ups jump everywhere. They are a joke, right? And I don't know how they survive, right? So you need to make sure, you need to look at sites that are doing well. Okay, so the websites that continue to rank in Google, the videos that continue to rank in YouTube, see what they're doing right. See the tips and tricks, you know, the phrases, you know, the images, the videos, the text, the tags, the comments, you know, all these things. You know, how are they getting leads? How are they getting sales? You know, how are they implementing the sales? You know, is it straight in your face? Is it very kind of hidden between content? You know, you see how they're doing and test and, you know, try things out. Because if you don't try things out, you won't know whether they work or not. And if you only try one thing and it fails, you know, there's a million different ways that you could do something. So you constantly got to test and optimize what could work, okay? So kind of building upon that, right? It's all about putting the effort in now, okay? Because you can think, oh, I've got these ideas and this and that, and I've done my one thing, but that's not always enough, okay? You need to start building as much content, whether it is videos, whether it's articles, landing page, squeeze pages, products, you know, offers. You need to do all these things and get as much out there as possible. You know, put those breadcrumbs, leave those breadcrumbs everywhere so that they can be found. So there's loads of videos on YouTube. There's loads of pages out there that can be found. You know, you've kind of built audiences and social media and all these sort of things. So that there's loads of breadcrumbs everywhere for people to find that can, you know, be caught in the spider web of working their way around to whatever your goal is of getting those additional sales. Okay, but if you don't put the effort in, okay, you've got nothing essentially. You know, create as much content as you possibly have the time to do. It's definitely worthwhile. So the next thing about getting more sales is to basically increase your knowledge, your understanding of different things. Now, the usual excuses that people will say, I don't have the time to do this. And, you know, people have so much time they don't even realize, you know, so much time they waste on just nonsense, you know, whether it's just sitting about and just doing something that has of no benefit. And if you need to get somewhere that provides you with benefit, it's got to be worthwhile. You know, even for me, like one of the things that I've kind of realized in the last year is that I go for lots of walks. I like going, I like getting the fresh air, you know, I like walking down by the sea and all these sorts of things, right? And one of the things I started doing in the last year was listening to books. Now, I'm a slow reader, particularly slow reader, and I might only be capable, right, of reading 3 or 4 books a year. Sounds pretty sad. I know this, right? But I'm just a slow reader. However, in the last year or so, I jumped on Audible and I started, you know, getting books, listening to them when I go for a walk. And I managed to get through like about 20 books of like solid content, solid knowledge. Now, it might not be specific knowledge that I can apply directly to certain things, but you know, it builds up knowledge, you know, because a lot of times we don't learn that much past, you know, school and whatever. And we learn these basics and things, and then everything else is just life experiences, okay? But reading books where someone's gone to town and created, you know, a body of work that, you know, it might just revolve around one single topic. You know, ironically, there's a book called The One Thing, and essentially the book is about just the one thing, you know, concentrating on one thing, and the whole book just regurgitates basically that same principle over and over again to reinforce that that's what you should be doing, okay? But it's a decent book, right? You know, and there's loads of other books that I can't think of the actual word, but, you know, I've basically absorbed over the last year. And I would say one of my number one tips is to get Audible, start listening to something when you go for a walk, when you're on the bus, you know, if people were ever allowed on buses and trains or whatever, or when you're driving your car, you know, or when you're walking the dog, you know, whatever you've got, you know, you can find half an hour, 30 minutes a day to listen to a book. Or when you get up in the morning, before you get out of bed, stick on the old earphones and start listening to something, start absorbing these books, you know. And these books might be 5 hours, you know, you listen to 5 or 6 hours, and, you know, that's only really maybe like 10 or 11, you know, little 30-minute, you know, squirts of, you know, listening to some book. So it's well worth putting the effort in. So now let's get back to some applicable bits and bobs, right? you got to make the most of your traffic. Okay, so you can do this by two ways, one of which is seeing you've got this traffic and making sure that there are multiple offers that you can give to people. So if they're not interested in the first one, you can promote them. You can have another product or another affiliate offer or whatever it may be, right? Or you can have congruent offers of products, that are not alternatives, they're supplementary. Okay, so it might be that you're showing them how to build a website, and then you're going to show them some sort of design software, and then some sort of email marketing software, things that come together, okay, that really comes together and work, right? Or what you can do is you can put retargeting pixels, okay, so that onto your site from Facebook or all of these other places, all of them, Google or whatever. So when people come to your site and that they have been semi-interested, if they weren't people that continued forward with made a purchase, but they came to your site or your video or whatever, because you can do it on YouTube as well. They came to your site and they were interested for one reason or another. You can then build them as part of these pixels, Google, YouTube, Facebook, right? And then later down the line, you can then use that to actually do the paid traffic that way, okay? So that is a good, the way that it works. We spoke at the top about, free traffic, paid traffic. And this is the way that the circle kind of comes a full circle, right? So this bleeds into email marketing, which we know is really powerful. So if you've got anything online, you should be somehow trying to build an email following that you can send emails to let them know about, even if it's just to let them know you've got a new video, new information, new articles or whatever. But all these things lead into sales, okay? So, or you have the ability to send emails and say, hey, there's a new product. I know you're going to love this product. This is why it's great, X, Y, and Z. Check it out, see what you think. And by having that pre-existing semi-customer base, you're going to be able to get more sales because they got into your list because they were a customer or they were interested or you gave them something, and then you convert them into the sales. So this is getting more and more sales, right? So then we just move into the final two things. And the penultimate thing is essentially you need to build up followers and subscribers. So we spoke about, and this covers anything. This isn't just, I need to get a Facebook page, I need to whatever. It is about, building up those retargeting pixels, building up those email lists, building up those subscribers on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, whatever it might be, building them up, taking the time to invest into it, because then it is something that you can use. Because at the moment you'll be thinking, I don't have no platforms, so I have no eyeballs. So I have no platform, no eyeballs, so it's almost impossible for me to get any sales off the bat, okay? That's fine. And it's not necessarily right, but it's a good principle to think about, right? Then think about, what if I spend the next 6 months going proper, hardcore into this and building all these different multiple places? 6 months time, you may have like thousands of people, thousands of eyeballs that you can communicate with when you want, okay? So this moves into the final thing. And the final thing to get more sales is to start. If you don't start, you got no hope. You got no chance. You don't take no risks. You don't put no effort in. You don't spend no time. You don't learn anything. You don't create. How can you possibly expect to get any sales or increase your sales? You can't. It's as simple as that. So that's it. We've got to the end of this video. I hope that there's been a few nuggets between the ums and the ahs. I really hope there's been something of quality. If there has, as I said at the front of the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel, obviously, as well. And as I said, hit me up in the comments section. Let me know where you're from, what you're up to. We'll see you for another video real soon. Take care.